Hey guys, it's a Sunday here in Washington, D.C., and honestly, it's pretty boring. Yeah, the president is away, and they called a lid at about 12 o'clock. A lid means that nothing else will be reported, no other big news is coming out. So the travel lid was called at about 12:10 today, which means they're not going to leave the house for the rest of the day. So no helicopters, nothing like that. Originally they were said to be gone for about a week, then that changed to a couple of days. But as far as I know from the White House press pool, nobody's really sure what day he's going to be coming back. Sometime early this week. The vice president's around. She is probably in residence down here at the Naval Observatory. Though she actually does go out on the weekends. She's been spotted at farmers markets. She's been spotted jogging at the Lincoln Memorial and having dinner and whatnot. I haven't heard any motorcades scream by my house, so I don't think she's out right now. Embassies are all quiet. Nobody's really doing much business with the embassies at this hour. Nevertheless, I thought I'd show you what's going on in DC on a Sunday. So we're gonna head down, cut through some of the local neighborhoods where there are a little bit more people, and then we'll make our way to the touristy bits. Let's just see what's going on. Okay, I just realized I haven't been recording for the last 5 minutes, just pedaling uphill. But we're at the French ambassador's house, where this new statue was just unveiled while I was in Hong Kong. That's the Statute of Liberty copy, which came from Paris. I'm not sure what part of Paris that was in, but it used to be hanging out. Wasn't it on a bridge or near a bridge? Chantal TV would know by. She's a YouTuber from Paris. Chantal, C-H-A-N-T-A-L TV. She was the first one that told me it was coming here. Well, it's here now, that's for sure. That's Portugal's ambassador. Alrighty. So, the little tour I just gave you of that neighborhood didn't get recorded, unfortunately. Now, this building on the left used to be the Chinese embassy, but then they moved to a new embassy, but I think they converted this into a diplomatic residence. I'm not sure, but I think that's where their diplomats live. They all have them in like a dormitory. So we're going to spin over, if I can make this light. More or less make this light. We're going to spin over to this neighborhood called Adams Morgan, which is a very diverse and kind of trendy neighborhood. Street basketball. They even got a ref though. They're taking it serious. Oh, they even got a PA announcement. So, this is Columbia Road and 18th Street, the intersection that basically defines Adams Morgan, the neighborhood. Let's go in and see some of the restaurants and shops. A little bit quiet right now. There's a few people out. Restaurants have reopened. I don't believe there's any capacity restrictions, though. If you eat indoors, if you go indoors, you have to wear a mask. Oh, these are pretty tired. There's a good French fry place there. Ooh, that's really tempting. Pretty quiet, to be honest. I thought there'd be a little bit more activity going on. It is actually kind of warm today for DC. I mean, it's going to be in the low 90s in just a moment or just a few hours. There in the distance, you can see the Washington Monument. The Washington Monument is on 17th Street. We're on 18th Street. No, I'm sorry. Washington Monument is down about 15th Street. We're on 18th Street. So it's a little bit off to my east. Oh, hang on a second. I see an electric bike. I see two electric bikes. Let's grab an electric. So we're going to do a Pony Express style handoff here. That one's broken. And as I was stuck trying to lock up my bike, that guy came and rented the electric. So we're on foot again. Yeah, that's all right. Let's go see what we can find on foot. Okay, we're mobile again, though we had to switch over to a scooter from a bike. Doesn't quite have the range or the speed, or to be honest, the safety, but it'll get us where we want to go. At least until we find another bike or we feel like walking again. This neighborhood here is known as Dupont Circle. It's a very trendy neighborhood, very expensive to live here. To be honest though, most of the neighborhoods in Washington, D.C., close in the northwest quadrant are, well, quite frankly, pretty expensive. Some of the more expensive prices. That's a Russian flag. Maybe some sort of embassy support office. GMF. German Marshall Fund for the United States. I don't know what those guys do. I will say, due to the weather being really nice and well warm, pretty much all the bike racks are empty right now. Everybody has rented a bike and is somewhere out in the city pedaling around. I detected that there was an electric bicycle down here to the right. Oh, there's the Argentina Chancery, the embassies and Chancery. And that's one of the former Soviet states, like Uzbekistan or something is over there. A couple other embassies to be named later. You're not going to believe it. As I was parking the scooter, somebody took the bike. It's not my day to rent a bike. Let's see if we can find another one. Yeah, it's a guy with his girlfriend. I'll let them have it. Their date night on an electric bike while I'm back on foot once again. So what you see here is what we call a bus bridge. There's a breakdown in the train on the red line for track repair. So they bring out a slew of buses and give everybody a free ride between the two stations. Unfortunately, it's going north. I want to go to the south, so I can't really take advantage of this bus bridge. But that's what all these buses are doing, keeping people on the red line, moving towards their final destination. Almost to the White House. We're down at 19th Street. White House is, well, the White House compound starts about 17th Street, though it's actually, address is 1600 Pennsylvania, 16th in Pennsylvania. Hey, we're back on the bike, and just a block or so away from the White House. Now, several of you asked or said, why don't I just buy a bike instead of renting bikes all the time? The answer is that the bikes are really cheap. I pay a flat fee of about $7, $6.50 a month. And I can use the bikes basically unlimited up to 30 minutes. So anytime I get up to like 29 minutes, I just dump one bike off, grab another bike. Really works out quite well. In addition, I can just dump the bikes when I need to be on foot. Like if I want to film something at the White House, I don't want to have to lock the bike, pick it up again. Works out pretty well. Speaking of the White House, that's where we are. So it looks like they got a little road work here. What is this, Jefferson Place? Jackson Place. I knew it was something place. But they've gone through and stripped out a couple inches of this road. That matches what they've been doing up here on H Street and on Pennsylvania and 17th Street. Looks like all these roads in the area are getting a new surface put down. Pennsylvania Avenue has been being resurfaced all week. But I think it's almost done. Here you can see all the resurfacing vehicles. FMC Construction, Fort Myer Construction, pretty big DC area construction company. What do we got here on Pennsylvania? Looks like they've repaved it. They haven't put the lines back out yet, of course. There's no traffic on this road anyway. Not like they need no parking signs and whatnot. Hasn't been traffic on this road since, well, before 9/11. A bunch of bicycle cops up here. We might have a protest later. Let's go check it out.
Yeah. And I said that when we.
Don't see any protesters. I mean, no more than the normal collection. This is an anti-nuke guy. This is no idea what he is. A Korea guy, woman. Troops out of Korea woman. Let's see if there's a protest in BLM Plaza. As I showed you the other day, Black Lives Matter Plaza had been all torn up after just being repaved 2 months ago. Not even that, 2 months ago. They then tore it up again. It's like, come on guys, make up your mind. So, Black Lives Matter Plaza is now to be determined plaza, TBD. This is the restroom office that was burned by the protesters during the George Floyd protests. No idea when that's going to be fixed either. So, BLM Plaza is now under development. There's talk about making this a more permanent, pedestrian-friendly kind of area, much to the chagrin of some of these organizations which paid for a nice location near the White House that they could drive their limos to, and now they're sort of stuck on the side roads. But we will see what comes of this over the next few months, maybe even weeks. All right, let's go back to the White House and then make our way over to the mall. Really would like to find an electric bike. So that's the church where President Trump took the photograph and where the BLM protesters lit a small fire in the basement. That church has been around for centuries. It's still standing though, thankfully. This is the Hey Adams Hotel, one of the more posh posh hotels in the presidential area. Jimmy Carter stays there when he visits Washington, which isn't that often anymore. Let's see what we got going on. Pretty quiet. As I mentioned, the president is away. We don't see any spotters up on the roof at the moment. We do see their tripods, which means, well, they're somewhere up there. There's a patrol of bicycle cops over here today. Maybe we have a protest coming later. We had a protest yesterday for Myanmar that was down around the White House. These are the daily protesters. They don't warrant very much special attention. And plus they start getting a little crazy, which has been known to happen too. All right, let's spin out of this area. There's still that construction going on over there, which is, I think, a telecommunications construction underneath the sidewalk where the public tours would exit, if there actually were public tours. So up here is the 0 milestone, which is where all distance from Washington, D.C. is measured. So when a sign says 250 miles to Washington, D.C., it's 250 miles to the 0 milestone just here on the south lawn of the White House, south of the Ellipse. It's also where pretty much the closest you can get on the south side to take a picture of the White House. So this is what the White House looks like without my big zoom lens attached. And this is the zoom lens. This is an Amazon $19.99, well, I think it was $29 thing, and it clips right on to the camera. It has an 18x magnification, so it takes the iPhone's magnification 18 times, and if I zoom the iPhone up to 6x, then 18 times 6, what's that, 108 times magnification? It's not a very good quality. It's not like great optics, but we're able to see a lot closer than what you normally see going on with just this regular iPhone camera. So guys, Sunday at the White House, pretty quiet. Of course, we do have a spotter up on the roof. Interestingly, there's a budget rental truck over on the west side of the White House. I wonder what they're up to. Looks like there's a bunch of ladders and stuff. The sirens you hear in the background is because there's a trash dumpster fire over at 24th Street. And that's one of the fire trucks. It's a rescue squad, actually. And the fire chief. I don't know why they're going to a dumpster fire, but Italian fire chief and a rescue squad. Maybe we'll go check that out. Anyway, the budget truck has got a bunch of ladders. What's that other stuff they've got in the back there? Not sure. Let's see if we can get in. Let's see if we can zoom in a bit more. Okay, we're gonna try to zoom in even more now. This is a budget rental. There's a bunch of ladders and a bunch of, well, stuff. Looks like a long. What's that machine? One of those like buffing machines or something. Anyway, some contractor in there with a budget rental truck doing some work on the weekend. Well, nobody's in the building. The construction crews outside are still here. They finished off most of the fence, though. There's a section over to my right they're still working on. And over to the left, there's actually some construction as well. I think it's fence related. I think it's related to the new fence. Maybe not. What's going on over there? Let's go back to the White House, though. Who's on the roof today? Nobody over on that way. A couple guys over here. Constantly on the lookout. He's looking into Lafayette Park now. There's a couple protesters in Lafayette Park, but nothing too serious. Not looking at me. Just some guy with a 100x zoom on the Ellipse. Don't pay attention to me, eh? Some of you asked about the flag. Let me show you up close, okay? So as you can see, that is the POW MIA flag. The American flag is kind of wrapped up, though, so it's sort of twisted around. The POW flag is flying, but the winds have sort of blown the American flag into a circle. So what you're looking at now is the second floor portico. Let me see if I can zoom in there. There we go. And that attaches to the president's private residence. A couple of chairs out there. I'm told there's actually a little spot on the wall right up there on the portico that's not painted. Maybe it's right there in that doorway. It's not painted because the burn marks from the British attack in the War of 1812 are still visible, and they keep those marks visible kind of as something to show the history of the building and to complain whenever the British come to visit. Whenever the British Prime Minister comes here, they always like, hey, see this? You guys did that. And I think it's in the doorway. Is that the door? That might be the doorway. So it might be right down there at the bottom right, or whatever, the bottom left of your picture right there. I'll try to find a picture of that on the internet and put it in. The president sleeps over on that side. Can't see much because of the trees. And then, of course, the east wing is all closed off. Anyway, lazy Sunday, no travel today. President called a lid at about 12:10 on travel, so the press is all kicking back in Delaware. Nobody's out here. We'll see if he comes back tomorrow. I think he's coming back probably Tuesday or Wednesday. What's that going on over there? Looks like some yard maintenance, maybe. Hang on. Looks like a portable generator being loaded on a flatbed.
You'll go up to that fence there, and then stick your camera like through the fence, take a picture of that, background like that.
So after quite a bit of looking, I finally found an electric bike, which is a necessity for getting back up to where I live in DC because it's all uphill, and all the pedal-powered bikes are absolutely miserable going uphill. We're on the campus of George Washington University. The students are not back yet, and as a result, it's pretty quiet. What in the hell? Okay guys, I see a Batman limousine up here. because, well, it's Sunday, and if you're going to go cruising, you might as well cruise in a Batman limousine. I'll see if I can catch it. I have to run a few red lights, but hey, Batman would run red lights.
Nice hat. Pen white 60.
All right, Batman limo approaching. All right, let's get off the beaten track of Georgetown and into the side streets. This is the old customs house when Georgetown was a port. It's now the post office, but it is a beautiful building. So crisscrossing across campus, across Georgetown, heading to the campus, which is about 4 or 5 blocks up the road. I don't know what it is about the sun today. It's just been a very hazy day. I think it's probably all the smoke from the fires out west are blowing over the DC area today, creating a really hazy sun, which is kind of messing with the camera, making all our pictures a little blurred out today. So I've shown you this many times before. This is John F. Kennedy's house when he was the senator. Senator Kennedy lived there before moving to the White House. So technically that's the last house John F. Kennedy ever lived in before the White House. And then again, Captain's Row, which we've shown you a few times. The houses of the ship captains and traders in the 19th century, 18th century, 19th century Georgetown. Let's head up to campus. There we go. Boy, that sun is really wreaking havoc today. Over here is Holy Trinity Church. This is where Joe Biden went to church when he was vice president, and he's been there a couple of times since January. But most of the time he's not here over the weekends. I think he's gone to church maybe 3 or 4 times since January. All right, let's get up to campus. There we go. Out of the sun, into the shadows, the Georgetown University Administration Building, next to the Georgetown Library, which is right over there. It actually goes down several floors. It's a good place to study if you can fake being a student, which I no longer can. Let's spin over to the medical school area. The roads are kind of a mess back over here. I think this is a dorm. I'm not really sure though. Now, during the school year, there are lots of student groups out in this area protesting and recruiting students to various causes. Save the whales, end nukes, nuke the whales, whatever. They're all out here. Let's go down this sidewalk because that one's a little bit tricky. We can go out this side street here. Okay, now it's just a big, long uphill. This is Georgetown Visitation School. I believe this is an all-girls private school for high school age. And this is the Volta Bureau, which was Alexander Graham Bell's, used to be his laboratory for deaf people to help the deaf, but now it's more of an advocacy organization. I'm not even sure they highlight the Alexander Graham Bell connection. He's kind of fallen out of favor in the political climate of the day. I'm not really sure the whole details of that. Over here is the Duke Ellington School. This is the School of the Performing Arts, sort of like the movie Fame, where musicians, artists, authors go to improve their trade. Kind of like a magnet school for the arts. I'm not going to go that way. Road's all torn up. I'm just going to go right up the hill. Pretty empty road. I know there's a bike rack. I can ditch this bike over by the Vice President's house, which is right over there. And then I think we're back on foot.